You're watching Alaska's news source.
We're still recovering from the death of a hero who died in the line of duty.
Today on the Morning Edition, reflecting back on the devastating landslide, a scar in the landscape serves as a solemn reminder of the tragedy that took place 1 year ago today. Plus, lessons learned about destructive fires. Data from the McDonald Fire 1 year ago in the interior suggests fire breaks may not be enough to protect homes and structures. And later, it's got a fin, but scientists say this is no fish. Details on the new dinosaur species recently discovered and its unique look as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Monday morning, everyone. All these years and we're still discovering new dinosaurs.
Yeah, sometimes I think it'd be cool to at least, have walked with some of the dinosaurs, not all of them. I don't think we'd want to wake up and see a T-Rex. Yeah. I don't think we want to wake up and see a T-Rex outside of our window. We did see some sunshine through the weekend. We are waking up this morning. Those overcast conditions across South Central. Stormy weather continues out west. We've got several locations we're watching for some coastal flooding, some gusty winds to be expected, with some of the strongest winds today likely occurring through the Alaska range. Meanwhile, as we do head out west, we could see some gusts upwards of about 50 to 60 miles per hour as well. Just to get you out the door this morning across South Central, those temperatures sitting in the upper 50s. As we start off the morning, you can see some 40s, 50s, and 60s as you head out west. This is where we're favoring all of that heavier rainfall. We're continuing to see a series of storms impacting the state. We've got 58 degrees in Bethel, 61 in McGrath this morning. The cool spot out towards Dead Horse at 29 degrees. And we have been favoring a very heavy rainfall out towards western parts of the state as you head through the southern Seward Peninsula coast, Norton Sound, through the Yukon Delta. This morning we are seeing some heavy rainfall as well as some gusty winds. This area of low pressure, a big focus when it comes to the rain showers as well as those gusty conditions we'll see today across a good portion of the state. We've got several weather alerts in the form of coastal flood advisories, wind advisories, even out towards southeast. We're continuing to hold on to some of that heat that remained that we began to see building in through the weekend as we continue to hold on to some of that summertime warmth. So we'll be talking about that coming up throughout the morning hours. But notice all of this rain we've been seeing out west. While we do have some locations that are seeing less than about 3/10 of an inch of rainfall, you can see through parts of the Seward Peninsula, western Brooks Range. This is where we've been favoring some of that heavier downpours. So coming up in my full forecast, we'll be talking about more of that stormy weather out west, heavy rain and gusty winds, as well as that coastal flooding. Those details in that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
In this morning's top story, today marks 1 year since the deadly Ketchikan landslide that claimed a man's life. The devastating slide tore through multiple streets in a residential area. Sean Griffin, the man in the middle of this photo with the orange hat, was killed and others were injured. The borough mayor says the town is getting back to a full recovery as the scar in the landscape is still visible.
So this area that's right directly behind us, this is the primary area of the slide that came down last August, about a year ago, and in doing so took out several homes, closed one of our major bypass roads, and cut off power, destroyed telephone poles, caused quite a bit of damage to the community. We're still recovering from the death of a hero who died in the line of duty and another one who was severely injured.
James Montevere, his husband, and their dogs were some of the few stuck in their home after the landslide. Looking back, here's a bit of what James had to say.
It was beyond traumatic. Bill still has flashbacks every now and then. The dogs, every time there's thunder, lightning, or loud wind, because wind is what we heard when the trees came crashing down. And they just panic every time, to the point where we almost have to medicate them if there's a bad storm coming.
And keep it to Alaska's news source for an extended story later today. We'll hear more about how James and Bill are doing a year later. Crews are working to clean up a diesel fuel spill in Ketchikan. The borough is advising people avoid the Higgins Elementary School area, saying it is out of an abundance of caution. Borough officials say the spill happened last week, and crews have been on site clearing brush, pumping, and preparing containment measures to address the spill. There's no information on what caused the spill, which is still under investigation. As wildfire season wraps up, officials are taking a look at the data from past fires to see what lessons can be learned about future fire mitigation. Adrian Peterson has the story from the interior.
In 2024, the McDonald Fire burned through the Tanana Flats training area south of Fairbanks. 1 year later, scientists have revisited that area, discovering wildfire mitigation practices alone will not prevent the spread of flames to homes or other infrastructure.
We wanted to track what vegetation response was after different standard fuel break treatments.
Doing so meant creating 4 different fuel breaks, from simple hand thinning to removing the trees and forest floor.
So we had 4 of those treatments out there and they all burned.
While each break helped to reduce the intensity of the fire, the end result suggested that fuel breaks are not enough.
It's really important for wildland firefighters to be able to be there and work from these things, or else the fuel breaks themselves are not going to protect your home.
Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
Meantime, a widespread effort to clean up eyesores around the Fairbanks North Star Borough is underway. You can see just how bad the situation at this property here, which the borough finished cleaning up just last week. It was a 10-day process to clean up just one of the many properties across the borough known as junkyard properties, where excessive trash has accumulated. The cleanup of this particular property near Badger Road culminates months of work and years of contact with the property owner. The borough received court permission for the cleanup in July. The borough's mayor says about 20 to 30 more properties qualifying as junkyards are on the list for cleanup. He says some are just eyesores, others are crime concerns.
We've been pretty close communication with the Alaska State Troopers on some of these properties that they stop at day after day after day, and want to see us doing our part to clean up the community to make it safer.
The borough says, the mayor says the borough is also working with the city to help them clean up junkyard properties in their jurisdiction by waiving fees for disposing of the trash at the local landfill. A recently discovered campsite in the Kodiak region is giving some insight into what life was like in that area 7,800 years ago. It's now the oldest dated settlement known in that area. Archaeologists previously believed a 7,500-year-old settlement was the oldest. A team of archaeologists from the Alutiiq Museum uncovered the newly discovered campsite where they found stone tools and a small stone circle that resembled a fire pit with charcoal in the middle.
Our till trough got bigger and bigger and bigger.
This was the first time that we have dug an archaeological site and obtained samples of charcoal, wood charcoal from a hearth, from a little fireplace, and we sent them to a radiocarbon dating lab, and they came back at about 7,800 years old. So that's about 300 years older than any other documented archaeological site from the Kodiak Archipelago.
With the ever-expanding history, the Alutiiq Museum will now move to update their exhibits and printed publications to reference this update. Coming up, nothing says fall is right around the corner in Alaska like the Great Pumpkin Way Off at the Alaska State Fair. Will someone break the records? We'll have a preview next.
Continuing to hold on to some stormy weather out west with some gusty winds. I'll have more on that in that coastal flood advisory. But first, the sunrise, 6:35 in Anchorage, 5:42 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back on this Monday morning. Pretty dark out there still at Brooks Falls at Katmai National Park. That might be a bear.
So the bears have been pretty active the past couple of weeks. So, maybe as we begin to approach sunrise, we'll be able to see more and more of them out towards Brooks Falls. Of course, we've got some stormy weather out west. Before we get to that, just a quick get you out the door across South Central this morning, where we are holding on to some overcast skies. 59 degrees to start off the morning. And, of course, later this afternoon, we may see some isolated showers across parts of South Central, but most of that activity remains with us for areas out west. Later this afternoon, we'll see temperatures warming into the low to mid 60s. But as far as what we're dealing with this morning, some gusty winds continue to favor areas of western and southwest Alaska, where we've seen those winds anywhere from 25 to about 50 miles per hour. This is also where we're going to begin to see some impacts in the form of some coastal flooding that does look likely later this morning into the evening hours, where we could see water levels well above the normal highest tide line. So the highest tide line, I should say. Gusty winds, though, really beginning to build into southwest Alaska. These will blow around unsecured objects. And, of course, the highest winds that we'll be watching today will begin to occur through the Alaska range. So we're going to see those winds increasing through western and southwest Alaska. Areas out west could see some gusts of about 50 to 60 miles per hour. And then later today on into our Tuesday, we could see some strong winds through the Alaska range where gusts up to 65 miles per hour is to be expected. So not only will we be dealing with some gusty winds, but we'll also see some heavy rainfall to be expected as well. These winds themselves should begin to subside for many areas by the middle of the week, but we're still going to favor many areas through areas of southwest Alaska and the western interior where we could still see winds gusting in excess of 40 miles per hour by Wednesday. So there's that heavy rainfall we continue to watch, taking that same track that we saw with those storms last week, moving off towards the northwest, so the Seward Peninsula, Yukon Delta, the Nulato Hills, even as you head through western parts of the Brooks Range. This is where we're going to continue to see some of those heaviest rainfalls occurring. We could even see some localized areas of wintry mix through the overnight hours on into tomorrow for parts of the Brooks Range as well as the slope. And you can see this ongoing wet weather pattern will remain with us. The good news is not expecting to see another significant storm impacting western Alaska the next couple of days. It's really this storm system that we're currently watching this morning that's going to bring some of the greatest impact. So again, some heavy rainfall expected out west. We could see several locations approaching well over 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Of course, you notice as you head through the Brooks Range, this is where we could see 3+ inches of rain accumulation as you head through parts of Norton Sound and then out towards parts of Kuskokwim Delta and western parts of Bristol Bay. We could see some heavy rainfall as well. These are the weather alerts we've got across the state. Of course, that coastal flooding is as you head out towards areas of the Kuskokwim Delta coast. That's from 11 a.m. this morning through 6 p.m. in the evening, where we could see water levels up to 2.5 feet above the normal highest tide. So be prepared for that as we continue to see these gusty winds, heavy rainfall, as well as that coastal flooding. Here across South Central, we can't rule out a stray to isolated shower. Those temperatures warming into the 60s throughout the day. We may see some sunshine breaks Tuesday, and then a gradual return to rain showers likely becoming widespread through the end of the week. Those temperatures staying in the mid to upper 60s, cooling off this weekend.
All right, thanks, Aaron. You've got about a week left to enjoy all the fun and games at the Alaska State Fair, which continues today before a 2-day break. Joe Allgood kept the laughs going while speaking with a man behind a mask.
Have you seen the tarantulas in the reptile exhibit? Have you seen those?
I have not yet, but I'm definitely going to check it out because they are very close to me personally, like genetically. I did get my powers from a radioactive spider. So I do want to check out my cousins here in Alaska, see how they're doing.
Yeah, and I have to ask just what brings a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man all the way from New York to here at the Alaska State Fair?
Yeah, I've heard about the Alaska State Fair all the way back in New York. Always heard great things about it, so I always had to check it out myself. There's a little bit of a swing. There's not a lot of skyscrapers from here to Alaska, but it was worth it to get over here.
I'm sure it's hard to eat with the mask on, but have you been able to try any fair food?
Of course, the staple of any fair, especially the Alaska State Fair, is always the food. So people have been really kind to let me reveal my secret identity behind the scenes so I can get a quick snack in, put the mask back on, get energized to see the rest of the events.
Yeah. And just for the folks who are thinking about coming out this weekend, what's Spider-Man's advice for the fair-going public?
Oh, definitely come out here. It's a blast. I can verify it's very safe. I thought I would have to fight some crime here, but everyone, the security, Avengers level, it was really, really good security. Not a lot of crime here, so that's perfect in my book. And a lot of great rides, a lot of great people, a lot of great shows, a lot of great events. So it's seal of approval.
Right on. Awesome. Any other Avengers that you know of that are here?
Well, there might be a couple. You have to come out to the fair to see who's going to be joining out here, but I sent the word to everybody, so we'll see who shows up.
And happening today is the 19th annual Alaska Midnight Sun Great Pumpkin Way Off. That's at 2 this afternoon at the Craig Taylor Farm exhibits. More than $1,700 is being awarded to first, second, and third place. So will someone break the record? Dale Marshall took home the crown for his 7th straight year last year with a gourd weighing, you'll see here, 2,035 pounds, but not quite as large as his record-setting 2022 pumpkin weighing in at 2,147 pounds. We'll find out today as Lauren Maxwell plans to be out there for us, bringing you all the details from the Alaska State Fair. So keep it to Alaska's news source for that.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.